Hello Twin Flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check. Today is going to be a classic check-in, so let's get started right away. I will be using the Moonology deck. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck, one of the classics, and since we are commemorating full moon in Cancer today, then why not? Let's see what the moon continues to give us, to share with us, to illuminate for us. The peak is going to be tonight. I think for New York time, it's something around 6 p.m. Of course, it could be even the beginning of January 14 for some of you in Europe and Asia. So yeah, just basically check your time, the timeline for your local time zone, if that's of interest to you. But, you can still work with the energy. It's already there. We're already in that full moon vibe, and it's going to continue for another couple of days. So whatever you are doing in terms of rituals, setting intentions, doing the clearing out, the decluttering, it's all valid now at any point. It's not a specific point in time. It lasts 4 days. So for feminines, we have work through your fears. That's the message. That's not very easy to confront, right? But whenever you start getting anxious or stressed or angry or crying, start crying, that's the time to explore and determine, imagine even if you don't have anybody next to you to talk to, which could be helpful for this kind of exercise. But even if you're by yourself, start asking yourself questions. Why is it bothering you so much? Why do you hate this? Why do you not like that? And it can be a legit thing. I don't know, you go crazy when people are late more than 10 minutes, for example. Right? That's a legit objective, that sucks, right? That's a sign of disrespect, especially if they didn't message you, didn't let you know what's happening, right? It's one thing if they let you know in advance, they explained, or if they're just not there and you keep waiting and it just drives you crazy, right? But if it's really a big deal for you, and maybe the whole point is much bigger than that, maybe you're gonna spend a day together, so those 10 minutes aren't really gonna do much, or it's not like you have to catch a specific flight or be in a specific show at a certain time. So really that 10 minutes is but it still bugs you, right? So that's a place to dig. And as much as it could be justifiable, right, if it goes kind of out of proportion for you, your reaction, the way you feel, right? And talk through, maybe write down through the feelings, right? And then try to see where it's coming from. You can even read about it. There's so much information online these days. What does it tell me about myself if I have this kind of reaction to people being late? And yeah, you may be surprised of how back into your childhood it goes, and how it would seem disconnected for a moment, but that's what it is, and that's the energy to work with. Not to try to suppress, not to try to behave and at least react better, but actually go to the root. For masculines, we have your commitment is being tested. Yeah, so something about the how serious are you about this dream or this new thing you're starting, right? The test can come in different ways. There could be setbacks in your story, and it could start giving you ideas that maybe it's not meant for me, or you suddenly find out that it requires a lot more investment of money or energy or even just time, that you never thought that was going to be this expensive, let's put it that way, even if it takes a lot of time, right? So this is the universe checking how much do you actually want it. What are you willing to do or to give to make this thing happen? Why is it important to you? Again, think about the why. That's where full moon is great at providing you that kind of information. Speaking of which, I've just recorded guided messages for each zodiac sign during this full moon in Cancer. So head to my other channel, Mindful Bamboo, and it's there. I'll also try to remember to add a link in the comments so you can quickly find it. And please look for the message for your moon sign. It has timestamps, so you can go directly to the sign you're interested in. And since this is about the moon energy, then definitely check out the message for your moon sign. And I just remembered because I was using the Dreamkeeper's Tarot for it, and that's what I'm gonna use today for this reading as well. So let's see. And at the end, we'll get some love messages for each of the twins. So that will be our third question. Four of Cups at the bottom of the deck. It's like when our mind is trying to trick us into thinking that, you know, we've lost an opportunity and it's never coming back, or where we blame ourselves or other people that something is not working out. Again, I'm not saying that, you know, that's not legit. Maybe it's pretty straightforward and it is clear that some specific person is responsible, right? But it doesn't mean that that's like the end of the dream or something, you know, like, or you'll never be able to go there again or something like that. Queen of Swords, look at that. Look the truth in the eye, you know, ask for the truth, search for the truth, demand the truth of what this is really about, or why did you want it in the first place, right? And if the desire and if the excitement is still there, then look for another opportunity to make it happen. Feminine, your energy, speaking of opportunities, is Ace of Pentacles, clarified by the Temperance. So just be patient, right? And listen to the universe. Like, we have Archangel Michael here, working with the universal energy and helping you start fresh, whatever that new beginning in the physical is. Work related, relationship related, maybe this is fresh start in terms of you taking care of your health, taking care of yourself even, right? Like, how do you build self-care into your lifestyle, into your everyday routine? For some people, that's what this is about. But don't rush and don't think that it's all, like, if it were meant to be, that it would have happened for me already. Not necessarily. Some things take longer, right? But just know that the universe is on your side. For the masculines, we have the Devil, clarified by Two of Wands, and we have two people in both of them. It's really interesting, right? It's a couple, it's a, you know, a romantic pair in both cases. So masculines are dealing with some kind of, I'm getting the message that their pink glasses have been removed, about some kind of illusion that they had about building life together with a life partner. You know, what is it all about? And for some people, it's their rose glasses are actually more pessimistic than what the reality is. So kind of pink, but maybe gray. I don't know. Like, just seeing it as a kind of like, this person is going to be taken away from me, or, you know, if they have some bad habits, then I probably will pick them up as well, you know, seeing it in that gray color. For others, it's the other way around. It's thinking that, okay, now, you know, we're gonna share everything, the ups and downs, and it will be like, we'll be like one, right? And that's also a codependent pattern. That's the Devil card here. Like, the ultimate love, even if you, Divine Masculine, feel like this is definitely the person and you're so crazy about them, but the ultimate goal is not to be the one, like to be one with the person, right? You're still supposed to be two separate individuals, and I'll tell you more. Even if you're coming together with your twin flame, if your behavior and your plan is just to be one and do everything together and, you know, be empathetic to everything that happens with another person and make all the decisions together and all that stuff, it's not gonna work, because twin flame is such a high vibrational standard that is so pure, right? So authentic, that the moment you start kind of diving into each other's world and just molding with it, right? Now it's all, you know, we're all like one. Who knows where the boundaries are between the individuals? It's not gonna work for long. It's gonna create problems, and it's gonna push you away from each other at some point. It's gonna blow up in your face. So be very, very careful with that. I was actually watching an interesting video just yesterday about attachment styles, which is mostly, it was like the classical information, not like it was like a completely new breakthrough information. But after exploring each of the main attachment styles, the speaker actually went into what would and wouldn't work in terms of people coming together with different attachment styles, right? Like this would work, this wouldn't work, this, that, and then, I mean, of course, ideally we all want to be in a secure attachment, right? But it's not an ideal world. And so the example he was given was about two people with anxious attachment style. And that's the way they mold together, essentially. They become one. And that's why he was actually giving this as an example that it might actually work. But you know, work is a very relative thing. Like, is that what you want your relationship to be? The additional question for today is the Fates, clarified by 8 of Wands. The Fates is the little fortune card in this reading. And we've actually been getting some messages of luck and trust in the universe for this full moon in Cancer. So I'm really interested to see what are the messages about trust, or what are the topics of trust that we're exploring. For feminines, it's King of Swords, clarified by 5 of Wands. Being able to deduce the truth and figure out what makes sense for you. And this is, by the way, on the logical layer. So this is your mind space, but don't get anybody with your mind because, you know, it can happen faster than you think, especially if it happens not directly through a specific person, but through social media, through, I don't know, movies, books. It could be something like that. You know, you hear somebody's story and it impacts you and you just accept it as the truth. Also, that was their truth. And it's not necessarily that it's going to be the same for you in the same situation, you know? So this is about trusting, but still being vigilant and using your discernment when you accept certain information as the truth for your life. For masculines, we see 9 of Swords, clarified by Justice. Yeah, so for masculines, it's trust in the law of reciprocation, or reciprocity, or the law of karma. This is believing that, you know, if something is off balance at the moment, you don't need to worry about it. And I know we also like to say, like, there are things out of my control, there are things in my control, and that's a big one here. But even if we dive deeper, so obviously there's no need to worry about things out of your control because they're out of your control. But even among things that are in your control, there's more trust that, you know, that masculines can bring in, and, you know, start exploring those new habits where you trust more, that the universe will show you that things will get better, that even if you are in a tricky place in your life, that there will be a way out, right? There needs to be that hope, that not even expectation, but really faith that, you know, things are happening for you, not to you. What are the messages in love for divine feminines? All right, we got not today and the butterfly. Not dealing, hurt, avoiding, still angry. And the butterfly is about evolving to the next phase, healing the inner child, growth. You see, both of them really are about the healing the inner child. If you think about it, it's about healing. And if you remember, I was giving you some examples at the beginning about, you know, your anger could be justified, like for a specific case, like when that person is 10 minutes late and they don't even give you notice or anything. But, you know, there's something much deeper in there, and that's what is important. It's not even like to give your peace of mind to the person. I mean, it's up to you, of course, but it's not really about this specific case and this specific person. It's something much deeper. So the universe is showing you where some healing is needed, and you need to dive deeper and explore where there could be some issue with the boundaries, or not wanting to deal with something, or just feel like a victim in some respect. Basically seeing yourself as a, you know, like somebody was late, so they disrespect you, but also almost like they want to hurt me. That kind of wording I'm hearing for some, right? Like if that's your understanding deep down, then there's that's where the problem is, you know, that's where that wound lives. What do we have for the masculines? The Boat and Not Enough. Receiving what you need, arriving, moving on, closure. Closure issues. Frustrated in the relationship, lack of confidence. Self-sabotage. Yeah, and we've seen that with masculines a lot. And even today, like, I was just talking about this Nine of Swords, which is this sabotage, right? It's like what I was just saying, not like needing more trust. This is what it is, really. It's needing to have more trust in the situation, which could be easier said than done, right? If you don't have that confidence, if you have some kind of fear issues. But that's like, faith is that piece where it's kind of like a blanket statement and mindset, right? You don't necessarily need to dig into everything. You can start working, bringing more of that faith and feeling of safety. By the way, working with root chakra is really helpful here. You can do that even without going deep into specific fears and specific wounds. But if you have that chance, then definitely look into it and see where you felt like the universe was punishing you, or, you know, like the situation wasn't fair, the life wasn't fair, like, oh, these things happen to me all the time, that kind of talk. That's the place to dig. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I love you all. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And until next time.